large beams as well, which are really kind of cool. Okay, meeting in progress. So that's a little bit about us. I do want to talk back up here a little bit, talk about our values. Very important to us. We talk about integrity. We talk about safety. We talk about respect and excellence. And I can tell you that's something that's embedded in all of our meetings. And the thing that I really like about it with our organization, they bring this up quite a bit. They remind us that it isn't just about these being our priorities. These are our values and how we operate. Priorities can change and shift, but our values don't. Any questions about Boise Cascade before we dive in? Okay, we'll go and move along. So a little bit about LinkedIn. So some of you may be very familiar with it. Some of you may be brand new. It's a great opportunity to help build internships for you. It's a great opportunity to network. And you can look at this as an ongoing profile that you can build and grow in your portfolio throughout your career. So this is something that follows you, not just when you're trying to get that first job out of college, but through the rest of your life. So show of hands here, how many people have a LinkedIn account right now? Okay, so we have about half the group, it looks like. How many of you get in there, say about once a month to do something, check something, post? Show of hands. Okay, so we got a few. We'll talk a little bit more about what I want to make sure we can do. We're going to get through some of the opportunities to build your profile. There's a lot of things to cover, so we're not going to get through everything today. But I did want to get a sense of where you're at. So for today, we're going to talk about the top 3 sections here: your profile picture, your headline, and your about. There's a lot of other sections you're going to want to make sure that you have built up, like your work experience, the skills. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there's a lot you can do to build your skill section. And Laura, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've got some future training that's going to be going on as well. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. We want to get that front cover page covered for you. So we'll start with the photo. The photo is something that you'll see often that people do in a way that they treat it so it's sort of like social media from a standpoint of Facebook or Instagram. You want to make sure it's a professional photo, and it should be about you. That's the key. So the little kids look cute in the pictures, the puppies and kittens and everything, but you really want to make sure that it's something that really stands out and shows you as a professional. Some common things you want to keep in mind: soft lighting when you take your picture. The one that I wasn't aware of, but they really encourage you to do a wide picture instead of like a portfolio. And the reason for that is your picture gets cut off when they put it in that circle. So that's a good way to make sure you get your full picture, because you don't want your head getting cut off, obviously, in your photo. And then a 300 DPI resolution is what they recommend as well. So again, no busy backgrounds, no pets. It's all about you. Pretty straightforward, but any questions? Okay, we'll go and move along. So we're going to talk about the headline now. And so that's that very first caption. And if you think about a headline, it's just like a hook or a headline in a news story, but the story is about you. So you want to try to make it something that's intriguing or interesting. I pulled an example here at the top. It's kind of like what you call a basic headline. It just says what she is, pilot at American Airlines. And that's fine, but it's not really exciting. You know what I mean? It doesn't really get you motivated or interested. Now you look at this next one, though: connecting people to the world by piloting 747s. Sounds a little bit better, doesn't it? That sounds kind of cool. Now, another method that people are using, and we're going to pick on Laura here, is what I call where you do sort of a collage of terms that describe you. So like in her case, she puts team and project lead, career strategist, coach, university recruiting, Boston sports fan. And the reason why that's valuable is these are keyword searchable. So when you're out looking for a job and a recruiter's out headhunting and they want to look up engineers or whatever your profession may be, they can find that in your headline. So it's really important to make sure, I would say 2 things: keep it meaningful and interesting, and make sure you have the right terminology in there. So that's very important. Any questions so far? Next, we're going to go ahead and jump in. And we're going to do an exercise here for the next 5 minutes. And what I want you to do is, if you have your profile up, if you want to take a look at it, or if you want to pair up with each other, and go ahead and try to figure out what you would want to put in your headline. And what I'll do is I'll have about 2 or 3 of you share what you came up with, and then we can talk about them together.
started, get a lot of students list themselves as student at Boise State University, right? And how many students go to Boise State? So something that differentiates you is your major, right? So start there, start small, and move from there. Also, you don't need to list where you're going to school because on your profile that will pull in up at the top section of the window. So you don't need to make space for Boise State University or college business. So just wanted to give you that tip. And I'll kind of float around, and maybe Steve can too. So if you guys have questions or ideas, float by us, we can do that. Let's start getting other business. In fact, it's super common. Okay, then what's something drink? Okay. Like leadership or okay, so then just like outline and demonstrate what yeah. I think that would be fun, right? But then you can do something like organizational management, right? So you are no, yeah. And then right. Never ran. Yeah. Another line. It's like or leader. Right. How about you? So then we're like if you want to write yourself, if you want to come up with this thing, then don't look at this, right? So you can well, there's organic. And then you can do another one. So you stop on this LinkedIn is also social. Or like mine says, like so like if there's something, don't push it, like don't but if there's something that's here, maybe I should go through your supply chain utilization are like logistics or inventory or data analytics, putting in there like data, like you can make it and it'll develop, I think, but even that is better than doing that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Hi.
You don't have a home screenshot, there's no screenshot. Yeah. I can do it next.
Any questions over here? Six years? A lot. Yeah. Oh, wow. Like, oh, maybe.
I want to ask.
Yeah, it's similar.
Plug off that. Right.
And then, well, what do you want to do? I know it's a big question. Yeah. But like, how Jenny. Marshall? It's a line or a song. Why is the word there, right? Yeah, well, it's precisely now. Inside. So you're live. Yeah, you got it. So we gotta give your project for identifying each other's strengths. But that's a great start. Like this. And then keep going up with not for now, that's maybe that's a good start. This is how you do it. This is yeah. What did I say?
Oh, I think that's our resume. Where you can talk about the resume when I have to.
You can actually do this. That was that's how you remember. I was like, don't be. Like I said, really do learn to like Yeah, honestly, like always. Steve, I just want to let you know that these folks were in a part of our class, so that's why they ducked out. It wasn't us.
Oh.
Or you. Okay, I think we're ready to move on.
Okay, great.
So so who we're gonna get, like, that's how we're doing time. Yeah, maybe we'll get like 3 people to read what they put together. I know that there's a Braves. Yep, there's some Brave souls over here. Hold on, I'll get the microphone.
So I put accounting student with 10 plus years of client relation experience and a passion for traveling.
Okay, very good. Who else? Or should we just do this randomly? Dun, 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 dun. We got one over here. Oh, we got another one over here. Okay. Let me work my way over. There you go.
I put international business major, experienced trade worker, and purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Perfect. I like the jitsu. That's jiu-jitsu. That's cool. That's really cool. And see, these are the kinds of things they're going to, and we'll do one more here. These are the kinds of things they're going to trigger. Like when you want somebody looking at you for an internship or for a job, these things will come up.
I put endpoint services technician, technical support specialist, customer care representative, and then 3D animator modeler.
Yeah, perfect. So you probably hit on all the keywords that they'd be looking for. So the ideal scenario is one where you can, in my opinion, is where you can do a combination of these two. So you have something that hits on the keywords, but it also sounds pretty compelling, right? We heard some really cool things there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on. So now we're going to talk about what they call the about section. And the way I describe this is it's almost kind of like your own mission statement. I'm going to read this example, and the way I encourage people to put these together is this 3-step process that I'll walk you through, and then we'll have you go through and do the same thing. So like in my case here, I put down, I'm a senior talent acquisition manager who has a broad scope of recruiting experience in high volume technical and professional recruiting. I've worked in tech manufacturing, retail, a variety of other industries. That's my I am statement. So that tells what I'm about. Now, the next statement is about that actually includes my education. Sorry, I doubled up there. Then we get into the passion statement. I am passionate about leading top performing recruiting teams and working with companies to improve and simplify their recruiting programs and processes. I work hard to make it easy to connect great talent with amazing companies. So it tells 3 things about you, really. It tells how you identify yourself professionally, first of all. That could be in a student, that could be a practitioner, an aspiring leader, whatever term you want to use. Then you talk a little bit about your experience. This is what I know. Then you lead into that passion statement, because it really helps them to understand you as an individual in a very nice little block. I'm this professional. This is my experience. And here's what I'm passionate about. And they can connect that then to what is it we're looking for? And does that passion align with what we're looking for? All right, so now we're going to go through another exercise, and we'll have you put together your statement doing the same thing. We'll take about 5 minutes to do this, and I'll walk around and check on you, see how you're doing.
It's everything. That's what, that's it. Okay, there we go, but yeah. That's right. There we go. There you go.
Also, something with this section, I'm not sure if Lee mentioned it, is unlike your resume, you can use I, you can use first person.
Absolutely.
On your LinkedIn profile. Speaking first person, whereas like on your resume, you cannot do that, right? So it makes it a little bit easier to write because you are able to do it more like for yourself.
Yeah, I would actually say like that should be the default. This is a very personal.
Yeah.
Okay, not like the resume. This is really a very personal statement.
Is it slightly informal compared to a resume?
It's.
It's social but professional.
That's a perfect way of describing it. Yeah.
Like, as an example, on my resume, I don't put anything about being a Boston sports fan, right? Like, it's not relevant to the job I'm applying for, right? But on here, it's a little bit more social. Does that answer your question? Yeah. And you can talk about like your passion, if you will, versus on like your resume, you can talk about.
I guess that's another thing is when it comes to LinkedIn, they have different things you can follow and be a part of. Would you recommend keeping it strictly what job you're looking for, or is like?
Yeah, good question. So LinkedIn is more of a crowd user, right? It's not one job. But in your instance of accounting, I would follow maybe some accounting journals, whatever that might look like, right? Or companies that are hiring accountants, everybody. But I think you want to think of it more of like your brand. Okay. How do you want to build your brand following?
Well, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, but the other thing you gotta keep in mind too, when you look at LinkedIn, we're starting to see this trend where people are putting more, the type of things you put like on Instagram or Facebook, and it really is more professional platform. It's not to say you can't, again, get a little personal, it's just you always want to keep that in mind, because it does have a reflection.
And I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little more later.
That is your question on the food.
Yeah, so Tyler was asking, and he said this might be for LinkedIn 2.0, but how much information on LinkedIn, or how much to put on LinkedIn, particularly related to the experience? He said he feels like listing all of them makes it look like a cover letter and less like a resume. So should he really ever be adding like courses he took and stuff?
And you talk about in the work history section, or, yeah. I mean, the answer may be the same for both, but.
He said, yes, so both.
Or for both. Yeah, I think you want to keep it somewhat to a bulleted sort of if you talk about the amount of information you put in. Yeah, rather than like say a paragraph, if that's what he's referring to. Yeah, you want to try to probably keep it more bulleted. I think that can help. Otherwise, this long run on sort of sentence feel to it, it gets a little overwhelming.
I think with your work experience, you can maybe encompass more work experience than your resume, but you want to include bullet points that are relevant
Yes.
to what industry, you're in or want to get into. And it's more about the quality of your bullet points and your achievements and accomplishments than just listing out all of your job duties in 10+ bullet points.
Yeah.
And you don't need to list all your classes, but if you know in the industry you're going into, you need to have taken a data analytics class or statistics to put that on there. But I don't need to know all the other classes that you took. It's just what's relevant. Great question. Okay,
Very
keep going.
All right, moving along. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about getting your about section, which is like a mission statement, like we said, and we talked about getting your headshot, your picture, get that done right. Once you've built your profile and you've got those core things put together, it's something you have to continue to manage. And it's one of those things, it's like a living, breathing, ongoing thing. So just a few things to think about, and I break it into two sections for a reason. I call it build yourself and build others. And the reason for it is you want to make sure that you continue to put things like we talked about earlier, put relevant projects, not everything you do, but put relevant projects that you're involved with. Don't be afraid to ask for recommendations from teachers, fellow students, employers. And that build your skills section, that's a big one that we could spend forever, but LinkedIn Learning has opportunities where you can get like almost instant certifications and things like Excel and things like that. And then you can also get recommendations from others of skills you have. So those things are very helpful. The other thing is, give it back too, right? Offer to be that support for others. Repost posting, that's a really easy way to get exposure. If you have a friend that posts something and you see something you like, you can repost it and then just put like a sentence or two to comment on it. It keeps you out there, it keeps you relevant, and you can also help to promote others as well. So it's kind of a nice thing to do. Moving along here. We're gonna get into the networking piece now. So this is where you got your profile built and you're trying to get those connections made. It always starts with doing that connection request. I recommend that you have some kind of a statement or sentence in there, but you want to keep it brief. That's something you're gonna hear me say a lot, probably here in the next few minutes. Think about keep it bright, brief and gone. So you want to be able to get in and get out. So what that means is, for example, if in this scenario that I put together here, say you are in the lumber industry, or you're getting into green timber, and you're passionate about sustainability. There's a director in an organization you'd love to get a hold of, and so you want to connect with them. So you can send a simple message like this and just say, hey, we have a similar passion that we're interested in. I found this report that might be of interest. I'd love to connect with you. And that's it. I know I talked to Laura about this. I get on average, I get probably 30 connections a week at minimum. And they'll be like 3 or 4 pages long sometimes. And it's just too much. It's just way too much. And it always ends in, I'd love to connect with you and come to your office and visit for an hour, chat. And most professionals just don't have that kind of time. So taking this kind of approach where you keep it really brief is really important. The other thing, if you notice, I have this bullet point here, it says create a networking building block. So sometimes you can't always get to the person you want to, but you might be able to get to somebody that's similar in their network, and you can work your way up to that individual. And we're going to do an exercise in that right now. So I'm going to hop out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with Laura, and I'm going to have a question.
Yeah, I have a question about connection. So like, I'm kind of just started to like build up and get connections. So is it weird to like connect with someone I have no idea who and I've never met them versus people I've met before?
No.
So like, is this be straightforward about one? I think whether it's hey, interested in like similar industry or whatever that may be, I think it's connection. Or
Yeah, I think it's great. It's be purposeful, be
Yeah.
your connection. So we can do an example with what you were just gonna do, Steve, with connecting with me. If you don't know me, don't just connect. 'Cause I may accept, but I'm not gonna follow through with anything.
so it helps to like add a little something.
Yeah, so, yeah, and we'll show you how to do that, yeah.
Laura's a tough one to connect with, so we got to really work hard here.
I mean,
Alright.
as you might imagine, to be really honest, like, I get a lot of student invitations, like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the times they'll just go in and hit connect, and I accept them. But if someone just shoots me a small message that says something like, hey, it was great to meet you today, or hey, you spoke in my class, wanting to connect. It's just, it makes me spend a little bit more time on their profile, right? Or just builds the relationship a little bit better, right?
Are you not going up? Okay. Did you totally ghost me?
You don't want to. You don't know, like, on
Yeah,
Facebook, if you don't know
yeah.
the person, you don't.
Yeah, and I have a good example of that. Is it, I'm not coming up at all? There it is, right there,
Where?
first one.
Oh, first one, yeah.
Yeah. So
Right in front of my nose.
she asked about when you don't want to connect with individuals. So prior to this job, I worked at an international school. And at the time I worked with a lot of Saudi students. And I connected with those students, but then that opened up another network all in Saudi Arabia, so I get tons of invitations from people in Saudi Arabia that I have no idea who they are. And if they send me a message and say, hey, a friend of mine, like, then I'll connect, but otherwise I never accept those because there's no reason to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so usually only connect with people who give you a message unless you know. them.
Yeah, or unless you read their profile and you're like, oh, they're a recruiter at Boise Cascade, they're connecting with students, that makes sense. But if it's someone, you know, from Saudi Arabia in this example, who I have no idea who they are, and I just know that they're looped into my network because of previous work experience. Yeah, so it's similar to Facebook, yeah. No.
One of the nice things with LinkedIn is when you do that connection, after you've connected, that's one thing, but once you like put a connection, you can't keep nagging the person about it.
Yeah.
They're either gonna accept it or they're not. So that's the nice part too.
Yeah.
Unlike other means. Okay, so we're gonna connect with Laura. And we'll use me as an example. So I am at Boise Cascade and I want to be more connected with DSU in terms of college. And I think we're a good connection. What would you say? How do you want to connect with them? That's fine. We'll start with something simple. It's hard for me to see on the side here. Hold on.
You're okay, I think,
Okay.
and I won't judge you. if the
Yeah,
numbers
those
don't-
typos.
Yeah,
please.
yeah, no worries, I know it's really hard to see that close up.
So what might be something that would make her want to connect with me? Let's think about it. This is brainstorming, so no right or wrong answer.
So are we giving the example that you're a recruiter? and
Yes.
You wanna connect with me because you know I'm connected to students?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'm a recruiter, I want to get connected, get more involved with BSU and college students.
Say that.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, yeah.
You could just say that.
Yeah.
I'll just say, let's try that out.
But in my profile too, there's a lot of language around if you're an employer and you want to recruit out of the College of Business and Economics, I encourage you to reach out to me. Or in my profile, in the about section, it talks about how I work closely with employers to identify their needs and then connect them to talent.
Is that something students should be, you know, I'm looking for, like, if you're looking for something, reach out to me or?
In your about section, you could say something about like, I'm hoping to get into what industry or what career, but not really reach out to me. I don't think in that context it makes sense, but you can tell them what you're looking for. So that, yeah, or like a keyword search.
All right, well, clearly I got to work on my typing, but
And so you
Yeah,
can
well-
see here, just by adding a small note, that's gonna be emailed to me and there's gonna be like some context versus just so-and-so wants to accept, connect with you.
there we go.
Again, with most students, I'll connect regardless, but when there is a no, or for you all, with employers, it makes a big difference.
Now, if we look over to the side here, I think we have some of your other connections, don't we? Or we have people that would be similar. And then we can also connect with people that Laura knows as well.
Yeah.
And so let's see if we can view your profile. So this goes back to what I was talking about, where you start doing the building blocks. So let's see, who do we have in your profile we might want to connect with?
Does that say that, those are your connections also?
Those are double, like dual connection.
Mutual connections.
Yeah, so those aren't gonna work for us, obviously, but
But like, you're not connected with that column of people just to, the right of my profile.
oh, this one
like
here.
Monique. So now you're like, oh, Monique also works in Kobe Career Services.
See, there we go.
Do you think it would be beneficial for me to also connect with her?
Exactly.
Right, so it kind of like opens up the network.
Exactly, and that's the idea behind it. So you always want to take that opportunity and not only see who you're trying to network with, but see who within their network you can build.
Yeah.
And then eventually maybe you would then get to Laura.
Yeah,
So
the other
that's
thing
the
you could do too, so say you connect with me and then you see that I'm connected with Steve at Boise Cascade and you're applying for a job at Boise Cascade, then you could email me, because, you know, we're in the same circle and say, hey, I'm really interested in connecting with Boise Cascade. I saw that you're connected to the recruiter. Could you introduce me? Or do you have, you know, their contact information, or do you have ideas of how I might, you know, stand out to them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, the message is simple though, and it's straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, you just get right to the point. Okay, let's go and move along again. All right. So we talked about our networking. Now, when you go to, once you have connected, the rules are very similar. Like, once you have that connection, you get accepted. Again, whenever you want to get involved or engage with them, just be very purposeful in what you're doing. What is your intent? Are you trying to gain an internship, a connection, resource? What does that look like? Know your audience, who fits within their network, who fits within your network, so you can make those connections. Keep your requests simple. And whenever you can, try to provide some value to that individual as well. So we talked earlier about like when we talked about your statements, this is a place where it's more of a you or them, right? If it just comes down to, I would love to have this, I would like this, that's nice, but you're my 30th message for the day. I hate to be honest, I don't care what you're looking for. You know what I mean? The die doesn't matter at that point. So, and I know that sounds probably harsh, and I don't mean it to, but you know, that's where you really want to go and get and say, hey, there's something that I think that we could connect on, or I think that there's value for you. Or anything you can do to make sure that they understand that this is a mutual relationship and it's not just about you trying to get what you can out of them, so to speak.
So do you want, so if I want to connect with you, you're a recruiter at Boise Cascade.
Yeah.
And you're getting lots and lots of messages.
Yes.
You want me to not say, hey, I'm interested in this internship you have posted, but you want me to say something like, I have a lots of experience in data analytics and statistics and think I'd be a good fit for this role. Would you be open to having a conversation with me?
That could help. It
Or-
certainly could help.
Yeah, what makes you
I
respond?
mean, if I were, so if I just straight out looking at that, so first thing, like if just being I'm interested in this opportunity, your recruiter's gonna say, here's the website, that's gonna be the default reaction I'm gonna give you. What you may want to say in a situation like that is, I saw this opportunity on your website, I applied, I'm very interested in it. Is there any advice you can give me on what I could do to help stand out as a candidate?
And you'll respond to those.
And I might respond to that, yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Because it's a little, it lets me know that you're doing the work, right? Because so often what happens is it feels like the person is saying, be my recruiter for me, tell me where to go, tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And showing that you took that initiative to say, I saw it, I found it, I applied, I've done the first steps, I'd like to take that next step. And that's what really helps. Okay, are we ready for a quiz?
Do it.
Okay. I did mention this prizes, right? We've got gift cards on this, $25 and a $50 gift card. Oh, that's perking up. I should have led with that. to begin with, shouldn't I?
Well, yeah.
You know, but that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna be doing Kahoot. If for those of you, or most of you are familiar with how it works. It's called Kahoot. Okay. Yeah, I figure most of you probably
You'll
do.
pick it up in a minute if you haven't.
So,
Do they need to use the QR code?
yeah, I'm gonna sign in here. Give me just a second,
Okay.
and you can either use the QR code. Or let's see, where's it at? Where'd it go? It ran away on us, didn't it? Oh, no, it's in the other tab. That's what it is. We're gonna move this out of the way. Nope.
Oh, there it is.
Where'd it go? Oh, there,
No,
right.
just to the left of.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we're gonna go ahead and pull this up. And I'm gonna hit start.
Information. Okay.
There we go. So you got, yeah, so you got a couple ways you can do it. You can either do the QR code, or you can go to the Kahoot.it and then you put in that game pin. Once we get everybody signed in,
So what, with QR?
yeah, you can either do this QR code or you can do this website and then hit the pin.
How close do you have to be to QR?
Sometimes
We do it from pretty far away.
Oh,
it-
I had it. Can you tell how old I am? No.
I'm the same way, believe
It's a little green.
You know what? I'm just gonna do this.
It's selected, but the thing isn't. You're the
No,
golden table. Oh, there we go. Got it.
All right, we're getting some people in.
All right. I got it. I got it.
You guys get it? Cool. And all over here? Okay, figure it out. Nice, all right.
We're ready?
So
Okay,
everyone's in.
let's get it going.
Oh, you in?
No, not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet?
we'll wait, we'll
Oh,
wait.
wow.
If the QR code doesn't work, try the website. That's the other thing we can do. Are we ready?
I think so.
Is anybody not in?
I'm just gonna have Maddie manage the Zoom.
Okay.
Our Zoom folks participating in this or not? Yep, it should, did he just, oh, they can't see. It 'cause it's- So it's 7967573. They can hear me, right? Talk to the universe. I think it's all recorded here.
We can share this screen if you want to share this screen. Sure. Yeah.
That
So
helps,
hit
thanks.
stop share for me on the red. Right. Oh. Wait. Let me take it over.
Go for it.
There you go.
Here we go.
That's nice.
And then we'll just remember to go back to the other ones. So just give that just 1 second.
Sure.
Yep, good to go.
All right, here we go.
Okay,
It's supposed to be music. I don't know if it's music or not.
supposed to be music?
Like, hold music in between kind of thing. Dun, dun, dun. We may not hear that. Okay, question number 1. And you got 16 seconds.
If you guys need to move up, feel free to.
Yeah, please do it.
How many seconds per question?
It's about, I think 15 to 20. We'll move it
I
quick
saw
on.
it coming down, but I didn't see where it started.
Okay, we got 12 answers.
Is it be about you?
What's that? Yes. Congratulate. Yep. Okay, here we go.
I'm on the podium.
Yeah, you are. Okay, we got Jay at the top.
It's Jay.
Okay, here we go. Next question. True or false? Best format for pictures of wide angle landscape picture. True or false? Okay, I think we got everybody in. Let's, okay, we got 10 people got it right. Let's see the scoreboard. We still got Jay at the top. Next question. Your profile headline is.
Can you undo it?
No.
Oh. That's why it says. It's hard.
No one doing unfortunately. Okay, wow, very good. A lot of people got that right. Okay, scoreboard.
Flame.
You got a flame.
How does Jay not have a streak? Why?
Lindsay has 3 because she got 3 in a row. Did you?
Maybe because you're winning. They don't want to give you too much.
Yeah, they don't want to blow you, they don't want to blow your ego up too much. Rank the following components of your about statement in order. What you gotta do is you gotta move them in the order that we talked about. Yeah, that one's a little tougher one. I'll give you extra time on this one though, so. Okay, we got 9 right and 5 are wrong. Ready for the ranking? Jay's still at the top. Jay took notes, huh? Number 5. It's important to add as much detail as possible to your LinkedIn connection by message. True or false? All right, we had 11 that got false, 3 so true. Do you remember how we talked about that? Keeping it simple. All right, Jay is still at the
Ooh, I'm
top.
catching up. I'm catching up.
Lindsay's catching up. No messing around, number 6. Which of the following principles apply when connecting with their contacts? It looked like I'm on phone. There we go. Good question, it's all. Final scoreboard here.
I didn't realize you could put multiple. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Last question.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, thank you. I-
You officially know. Which of the following, now this is the Boise Cascade one now. Which of the following products are produced by Boise Cascade?
Frozen.
Okay, are you ready for drum roll? Final winner. Here's the podium. In third place, we have Lindsay. Josh in second. And number 1 in the spotlight is. Yeah. Congratulations. All right, after we're done here, stop by and I've got your gift cards for you. So we'll go ahead and move on here. We'll just do a quick wrap up because we're getting close to our time. What'd you think? Is that fun? Okay, good. That's what we want to do again. Good. So just to sort of wrap up where we talked about everything. Build that simple, enticing profile. You know, always look at your audience, understand they're busy. Make sure you talk to them about things that are valuable. Keep it bright, keep it brief, and be gone. Continue to maintain that account. The more you can do, even the simple stuff like we were talking about earlier, like just reposting, it takes like 2 seconds, right? So, you know, set a goal to go in for maybe a half an hour a week or 15 minutes and do 2 or 3 things. Just add something you've done in terms of a skill, repost something. 2 or 3 things is all it takes to kind of keep it updated and keep you relevant. And then network, like we talked, really got to build that network. And also, I mentioned we're going to be a student career fair. And if you get our QR code, we have about a half dozen internship opportunities right now. 2 of which are in HR. And we're really excited to get those going. We'd love to see many of you apply.
You're also gonna be at the dinner.
And that's right, we're also gonna be cooking dinner as well. We have a couple opportunities. Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Like you can share your picture.
I know, it's an old one too. So if I wanted to connect with you after this workshop and then message you, could I say something like, thanks so much for coming to Kobe today and presenting on LinkedIn? And that would more so entice you to connect and then maybe follow up with me if I had a question.
Absolutely.
So that's a good example of, and that's a good example to use when you're at the dinner or at the career fair. It's like a really easy way to follow up or connect with somebody by just mentioning where you met.
Absolutely. Yeah, those simple connections and names, like, you know, I know Laura mentioned you at such and such or whatever that looks like. Just having that even small connection sometimes is a big difference.
Yeah.
It really does. What other questions do you have? I'm gonna cover a few things here. I'll have a few too, but I'd like to get the feedback as well. If your wife can look like see that. Or what questions do you have sometimes?
I just mentioned to some of my pretty good videos that I was just gonna start being more proactive on LinkedIn, so be better. and one of them mentioned this, watch out for possible scams. Are there scams that happen frequently on LinkedIn?
Like, yeah, like any kind of social media that's out there, yeah, there are scams.
Is there a way to kind of like have like a telltale sign of like whether it's real or not?
Usually you know the nature of it, a lot of times, especially if you look at, if you look at email addresses, that can always be a good sign, if it's a very odd looking email address. If the requests involve things that are, you just know, like practically like information you shouldn't be sharing, or asking yourself the question like, why would this person normally connect with, does it make sense? A lot
Or
of
if
those
they're
times-
offering something too good to be true.
That's,
Like if
yeah,
they reach out to you and they say, we saw your profile and we have an awesome job for you that pays $500,000. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's awesome, but probably a scam.
That's,
Right.
that's a good example. What, and the flip side of that, you get, so for, you know, $99.99, you can get in a program and guaranteed job, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything where they're asking for money from you, or like Laura saying, so like a ridiculous offer.
You can also look at the company, like, because they should be associated with the company, so you could jump into Google and do a quick search.
Yep,
And then at that point too, or you could be like, is this a scam? And I mean, other people are probably posting in Reddit or whatever other, blog posts talking about it too.
exactly.
Also too, like, part of our job in career services is to help you navigate some of that. So if you can't figure it out on your own, contact my office and let us help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. And we,
I was just, I'm sure that I'm gonna make many mistakes on how I'm like not properly reaching out to someone. So I don't know what my question was. I was just like,
that's gonna happen.
that's gonna happen, and I just wanna make sure that I'm doing the best to gain experience and opportunities and like expand my knowledge. I
You know
guess.
what, so, yeah, like, so maybe some things you can consider doing is like, number one, before you even go to it, do it on like a Word document or something first. So you know, I've had that happen where I hit the send button on accident, so that's one thing you can avoid, and that way you can take a look at it. And have a friend or somebody look at it and say, hey, I can send you this to this person. Here's some of the guidelines that they're given, does this fit, or like, you got this, or feel overkill? You can always like reference others as well.
And if I'm an undergrad and I don't really know what I want to do yet. So how do I make it so it's still narrowed in and on topic, but not super like my heart's set on
This
this.
is exact thing. I think that in case like that, you can talk about how you're exploring or interested in. You know, and I think a good thing you can always do is, if you're gonna ask a question like that to me is, you can say something to the effect of like, are there any resources you can suggest? Or anything, like, give me something where I can direct you rather than maybe build the whole answer to that question for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's another way you can do it too. And at the end of the day, don't be too afraid, you know, if you hit the send button and it was the wrong message, yeah, everything will be fine.
My team also meets with students one-on-one to work on a LinkedIn profile, right? Because your profile is going to be very unique and different from another individual's, right? So you and I, or one of my other career coaches, can talk through like, what are your skills? What are your interests? How do you want to brand yourself, right? So this is a great introduction of like how to build your profile. But when you have those specific questions, like that's where we can come into play and help you out. But this was great information, Steve. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this. That'd be me.
Yeah. There.
But maybe I'll get Steve to join me, and the two of us could, we could do it again together. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I was wondering,
What is it? More in depth on how to use it to connect with others. So if you're looking at a certain job, going into that company and finding someone within that company who also graduated from Boise State, who also was the same major as you. Like you can filter down really well. So sort of using the tool now that you build your profile, how to use it to connect to others, how to find jobs, things like that. But if there's something else that you guys want to learn how to do, I think, especially because that one will just be me presenting, we can really make it interactive and a lot of just question and answer. I mean, there's this system, this platform is constantly changing too. So there's things that I'm trying to catch up on as well. But does that help a little bit? Yeah, just more how to use the program or platform. So. Okay, with that, we'll let you go. We appreciate you being here. Again, thanks to Steve. The cake was happening. And yeah, again, just, if there's anything, our team can help you with, career coaches, resumes, LinkedIn profiles, cover letters, where to find internships and jobs. That's what we have experience in, and you don't have to come to us with a polished LinkedIn profile or resume, like come to us and let us help you build it. So look forward to working with you and stay in touch. Cool.
Oh, and for those
Oh, and
that
collect
got
your
your
prizes,
prizes,
yeah.
meet me over here and, we'll get you get started.
There's a little bit of pizza left, so feel free to grab it on your way out.